Hi, friends. Betty turns 10 this year, but it's been the last year that's taught me the most. And I wanted to share with you where it came from. It was hatched on my office floor in 2013. It was a Sunday, and I'd been in my new job for 39 days. My boss and dear friend for almost 25 years at this point had told me, don't do anything for 90 days. Yet, there I was with 67 major projects or changes that I knew needed to occur. Now, no one was with me. It's just beautiful day, myself, a whiteboard, and my imagination. And I sat there on the floor and I felt my heart rate increase and the pressure washed over me. And adrenaline was pushing up blood in my extremities and started getting warm. And I just knew that there was no way we could do all of this. Trying to calm down, I moved over to the chair and I was swiveling back and forth, kept glancing up to this light blue scribble that was tormenting me. In 67, the number just kept rattling around in my head. But I finally said, do what you can. Just get a little better every single day. If you can get 1% better a day, in a year, you can be 365% better, at least. The Betty blog, I've been writing inconsistently for 10 years, and there's been gaps between posts of more than a year. And I wrote more this year than the last 9 combined. If I'm being honest, what's kept me away in those gaps is fear of judgment, failure, and all these other voices that are parlaying with my hopes. And then last year, I resolved to change that. I committed to posting something weekly for a year. This is number 50. And as my friend Nate Cadillac recently shared about his newsletter, grow slowly. And I wanted to honor his vulnerability with my own. This is slow and this is hard. But most things in life are harder than we expect and take longer than we expect. Here's a secret or two. Fear, uncertainty, criticism, and doubt have bumming a ride with me as long as I can remember. Now, the reality is they're riding with most of us. Society doesn't let us admit that. And for me, sometimes it's dark in here, but it gets bright because I know I'm not alone. I know you hear those voices too. They exist to keep us safe and alive. If we let them control us, we will never become the beat. There's enough obstacles out there in the world that want to beat us down. We can't let ourselves as well. And here's another secret. No one really knows what they're doing. We're all just making it up as we go. And once you realize that, you're free to do you. And creating is what I've done for most of my career. It's what I want to do. Create teams, ideas, cultures. My career, I've been really lucky. It's been up and to the right, mostly. Sunshine and butterflies weren't always here. But anything bad was at minimum some passing squall. No big deal. We can handle it. I've been really lucky like that. Deeply appreciate the privilege that I was born with and the friends that life has given me. They've selflessly dragged me along or up. But I haven't asked for anything back. And those friends, they just breathe and live, give more than you take. And they know that I'm a work in progress. I try to tuck their lessons into my kit bag and I bring them with me. And where I'm blind, those same friends remind me to pull them out. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. I had a team sergeant in Baghdad. He could leg press a Prius. And I repeat in my head, like this silent growl that only he could do. You will get better. Do the reps. Do the reps. Or for my brothers in the Q course as we trudge through another dark, cold, wet night, just don't quit. Or I have a dear friend, basically a walking saint. I'm blessed to have him in my life. And he says, self-awareness, self-control. There's no rule here. Say one, I have to ship something every week, period. And I just tell myself, the process is what matters, not the objective. As a warrior once told me, looked me right in the eyes and he said, it's going to suck. Embrace the suck. You will be stronger for it. Roger that. Just got to continue mission. And here we focus on what we control. It's easy to get wrapped up in what's happening or maybe not happening. To notice the slights, the real or perceived, and wish that things were different. It's easy to time travel into wouldas, couldas, and shouldas. And while I don't consider myself a pessimist, I'm probably not an optimist either. So somewhere in between, a realistic optimist maybe. And the voices in my head, they work their you-know-whats are to tell me what's wrong, what will work, and remind me of this one deep fear I have. I'm not ready to share it, but it's there every day. And I try to face those voices and I embrace some as friends. Most importantly, I try to slow down. It helps me recognize these are just my thoughts. And every thought I allow to germinate becomes this garden in my life. And I gotta consistently weed or water what's most impactful. Now, I'm not sure where I'll be in another 10 years. But whatever I know, it's going to be what I thought. Life has a way of surprising us. And I know that if I don't do something today, nothing will be different tomorrow. And 4.5 decades in, I sit peacefully with the understanding that progress and process is what matters. I've done enough laps around the sun and know that showing up, quieting the voices, is what matters. Removes the that I have to have instant gratification. Just do the work. It works. While I don't know him, Stephen Pressfield has served as a counselor, sage, inspiration for me. His most important work is, I think, the war of art. He makes his point. Resistance is not a peripheral coding. Resistance arises from within, self-generated and self-perpetuating. Resistance is the enemy within. He goes on, rule of thumb. The more important a call or action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistant we feel towards pursuing it. Resistance shows up for me hard. These posts punctuated with fear. My cursor hovers over the publish key, and I check in with my ever-present friend self-doubt. And this narrative keeps going. Who am I? This is garbage. Nothing original here. Traffic's down. No one cares. Those are all the things that kill myself. And resistance is dancing with my fingers. I delete the things that are too personal or too provocative because I think, hey, I got a reputation to protect, right? I think society and nature have a nasty way of collaborating your dreams away. Can't let go. I feel that there's more to create, more to share, more to explore, but most importantly, more to learn. Good news is courage has been my collaborator for 52 weeks, and I've not fully succumbed to the desires of self-doubt. I've been able to ship consistently. And here's why. Helping is why I did this. Well, I know there's no replacement for walking through the crucible yourself. Maybe others can find something helpful here. A lesson, a thought, or a nudge at the right time. Finding what works should be shared. Now, this isn't altruistic. I'm talking to myself too. Like iterating as a human, a husband, a father, a friend, a teammate, and a creator. And I'm hopeful that maybe one day my boys will read this. I hope the timing will be right for them. And they'll see a man trying to do the best he could and be everything that they need. All of that while wrestling with his demons, trying to heal his wounds. Maybe I'll be here, maybe I won't. But hopefully they'll say that I was there when it mattered and I helped them find a little bit of peace, joy, and purpose. If you're willing to look foolish, you're going to win. This is a minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day improvement plan. The humility to look foolish is where better starts. And I'm honored to have friends who inspire me with their consistency and their humility. They beat back the voices and they make it better today than yesterday, every day. Here's a few. To the mom out there who started her gender-neutral kids clothing brand, stitching it together. To the designer friend sharing his journey each week, helping others along the way, keep pushing those pixels. To the technologist, marketer, and a lot of other wonderful things, he's shaping the heart of our homes. Keep grinding. To the hotelier who's making a real difference. Through the Tiger's Room, keep helping. Those kids really need you. And to Princess Buttercup, who quit her job to help solve her mental health crisis. Keep leading. I'll put links in all of those here for you to look at. Most importantly, the leaders working as entrepreneurs inside their families at large organizations. Work your craft, lead your teams, love your team, keep pushing them. They need your confidence and support to become the human they don't realize they can be. We all need that. We tend to highlight the bold moves and overnight successes. The reality is, the bold were consistent long before the universe whispered now. They spent years getting ready for that moment when it all came together. They weren't bold. They were just still here. May courage and consistency be your collaborators, friends. Let's go get better together. Take care out there.